That's our guitar is looking pretty good. We cleaned up a lot of stuff. Got our pickups the right way. Our gunk off. Headstock's looking fresh. One of those tuners looking cool, looking brand new. All right, now we have to do the most important job is addressing our neck, making sure it plays good, getting these frets cleaned up. You can see a lot of dirt, a lot of gunk. Frets are a little oxidized, a little flat too in some places, so we're definitely gonna have to address those, make this a sweet playing guitar. First thing we want to do is find any problems on our neck by using the fret rocker. So what we're gonna do is, why these sides look so weird, is you want to do 3 frets at a time and then move it back and forth, and as you go down, the frets get closer, so you keep moving from side to side that are smaller. And whenever I notice a problem, so let's just start going down. These are good, good, good. These are good. So like here we got 4 frets, we don't want that. So we're gonna go to the next biggest side. 3. So far so good. All right, so here, if you can hear that, right, there's just a little bit of movement. So our fret right here at 10 is a little bit high. So what I like to do is just put the marker on it. This way, when I do go over it with the fret leveler, once the marker is gone, I'm done. So really what you're trying to do is just take off a very little piece. You don't want to destroy the fret and get crazy. So once you see the Sharpie is gone, that means that level, that little level of metal has been shaved off and you should be good to go. So we go over it again. Boom. Right on top. Keep going down. Okay. So all in all, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 frets, mostly on the higher end, which tends to happen. So we can put our fret rocker away for now. And next thing we want to do, actually what I'm going to do is tape up this board since we're going to level it off, and I don't want to mess up the wood while we do that. That'll just make our job easier. Taping is kind of a pain, but you know, you want to save the fretboard. So let's do that real quick. So our fretboard is now taped. So we've taped in between. Gets a little tougher as you go on, they get skinnier. Just like ripping them kind of in half and then filling in the gaps. Seems to work okay for me. So all we have is our frets out now. What we're gonna do is take our leveling block, and again, same thing like the steel wool, very light. We're just going straight across like this, up and down. And what should happen, theory is, these frets that I marked that are higher than the others should shave down just enough that everything will be level. Then we'll go back in and crown them and polish them. I'll show you how to do that. So let's take our fret level, very light touch, back and forth, and we should be good money. All right, so if you can tell, I mean, probably can't really see in the camera, but that little bit of Sharpie is gone from all the marks that we had, and that's all I was looking directly at them as I was doing it, and once the Sharpie came off, I stopped doing that area, moved up, move up, move up. Now, frets still don't look great. They need to be cleaned and polished and stuff like that. So that'll be our next step. The first what we want to do is just take our crowning tool here, and these are 4 different sizes. So this is medium jumbo and then jumbo frets. So we just have to find the groove, see which one works for us, and then we're gonna do each fret down the neck so that they're all nice and crowned. So these are medium jumbo. How you can tell is just, you know, there's 2 sides in case you have a bigger fret, big guitar. So as soon as I put it on the bigger side, it didn't do anything because it was too big. It just went right over the fret, did nothing. So we're gonna use the smaller side. And again, just gentle pressure. We're going on top, a few strokes back and forth. And if you want, at the end, you could just sort of angle it down so you know, bring the fret nice and smooth over the neck so it's not sticking out. I mean, this guitar is already pretty good. The fretwork is nice, so you could do that. But just to smooth it out a bit, and you can see they're already looking a lot better. All right, not bad. Next thing you want to do is go back over it with your rocker just to make sure you got the spots, and that also when you filed, you didn't file something too much and have another problem later on. So we'll do that real quick. This fret right here is still a little high. So we're gonna just take our file and get this guy down a bit. Check again. That's too high. All right, that's good. So that was our first problem. Saw that we actually needed to just do that one, but instead of going over the fret rocker the entire time, this, you know, so we don't have to do the whole process again, we can just kind of file that one down. We know it's just that fret is our only problem. So we were good just kind of taking the file to it, rounding it out. Took a little bit off, so that was good. So now this guitar has nice leveled frets. What we need to do now is just get them clean because there's still a lot of rust on them. So we'll go back to our trusty 4.0 steel wool and we'll get a new one. And like I said, you know, if you have these, I mean, even though I have them taped up, it's good just to put this here, you know, just to kind of block the rest of the guitar. But there we go. And like I said before, there are these guys, in case you're just doing a quick job, you don't want to, you know, do the whole thing where you have like a fret that's just look nasty. So you put it on just like that, or like here, right? And this way it covers the fretboard, and then you can go over here with your steel wool. And if the excess wool hits anything, it's hitting this metal piece, and you're good to go, and you have a nice clean fret. In this case, we had to do so much work, it's better just to cover the whole board, so, you know, better safe than sorry. So we'll just do it this way. Kind of going over more times than maybe I normally would, but again, with like most things on this guitar, there's a little more gunk and grime than I'm used to, so we're kind of really having to get in there. All right, so we've leveled, crowned, and polished. What I'm gonna do now is just take my Dremel with the polish cloth and just go over it one more time. Let's take the paint off, painter's tape off, and see how our neck's doing. There's our neck, looking good. You even see kind of like the shine now coming off the frets, and they're all level, polished, should be playing good. The guitar is also good for knocking over towels. Use as a weapon. Okay, so last thing we need to know about this neck is if it is straight, or at least has a little bit of relief, which is usually good. The thing we don't want is for it to go this way. I forget if that's convex or concave. I don't know. I don't remember. All I know is that if it goes kind of up towards the 12th fret, that's not good. Flat is okay. What we want is just a little bit of relief. Would be awesome, but we'll check it here. Most of these fret rulers start at the nut. This one that I got for some reason starts at the first fret, which is just weird. But it works, still works. So the idea is the notches go on the fret. You have to know your scale. So one side is 25.5, the other is 24.7, which I had to find out myself. So don't get this ruler, get something better. But okay, so we're gonna put this on at our first fret and then put it across the fretboard. And I'm just gonna hold each end and sort of push a little bit. So this is perfectly straight, which is fantastic. No movement in either direction, so that's cool. That means we should have a really good starting point. Might want to put a little bit of relief, but that's also personal preference. As long as the neck is straight, that's fantastic. So we are in a good place. All right, so we got a bit of a mess here from all that steel wool and dirt and everything. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna clean up all of our pieces, the bridge pieces, stuff like that. So when they go back on the guitar, they look cool on this towel. Then I'm gonna clean the whole area, get rid of the steel wool, and then start piecing this back together, put some strings on it, and see how it plays. 4. See if we can get these off. See? Good scrub of that. Nice shine. Now we're going to clean up so we have a nice clean working space so we can put our guitar back together and make it look dope. Alright, I guess we can put it back together now. I would say maybe leave the truss rod cover off, but since we know the neck is straight, I doubt we're going to have to get in there, so I'm going to put it back on just for aesthetic sake. And if we do need to take it off, we can always go back and do that. So here we go, let's put it back. Put it back together. Not that we did much work to it, but even just cleaning it out, it actually works a lot better. So hopefully electronically, that's all in place too. I'm actually gonna go ahead and leave this tape on, just because it was pretty good to pull them off and on, so I'm hoping they go on pretty easy too. Yeah, I just missed a spot on the speed knob. They were a little cloudy, just a little bit of steel wool to them, and a little bit of cloth and cleaner. Really cleaned them up. They look pretty much like new. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the height of my Les Paul so I can measure this, and then we'll put strings on and clean it up. So like I said, just sort of eyeball this right now. I'm not going to be able to really tell until I put the strings on, and then we have to play the dance of intonation, pick up height, all that kind of great stuff. So yeah, just got the measurement from my Les Paul, but obviously all guitars are different, a little bit, you know, different nut, different pickup heights, like I said, the rings. So we're gonna have to do a full, you know, thing once we put all the strings on, which we will do right now. Hopefully this isn't that hard of a setup. Let's get to it. So take this pencil and sharpen it. Voila! Amazing. But what's good about a pencil you put in the nut of the guitar is the graphite actually helps the string tuning stability. Don't ask me why. Science wasn't my best subject and all, but it does. So if we get up here into the nut, you see the grooves, we just take the pencil and just sort of go back and forth in there a little bit. Kind of helps the string move in the nut a bit, like when you're bending and moving strings and then move back. That's what I think. Rumor has it that's true. If it's not true, let me know. I'll be glad to know the exact reason why I'm doing that, other than just hearing that it helps. But now I'm telling you. Here we go, back to stringing the guitar. All right, strings are on. So I made a mistake, not a huge mistake, but I forgot to put my fretboard restorative on before we did these strings, and I don't feel like taking them off. So what we're gonna do is just loosen them up a bit and move in between the strings and get it that way. If we get some on the strings, we'll just wipe it off, it's not a big deal. All right, so we got the fretboard stuff in. It dried really quick. This is obviously a pretty thirsty board. Wiped off the excess, no problems. I got my trusty tuner here. Tune. So we're gonna tune up and see how the action is and the intonation is on this guitar. Just checking the string height in here. It's actually pretty good. Actually looks pretty good. Cool. Now what we do is we want to check intonation, which is where these pieces come in on the bridge, how far they move. What intonation is that if we hit an open string and it says D and it's perfectly in tune, we want to hit the 12th fret and see the same exact thing. If it's sharp or flat, we have to move this piece back or forth accordingly. So let's make sure that that is also good. Alright, so our intonation is pretty good. Our low E string is off. So it's a little sharp. So what we want to do is take our flathead, and if it's sharp, let's loosen the string a bit so we can get underneath there and move this guy. This is also a little loose, this bridge in and of itself, which isn't something that we did. It's just kind of that way. So if it's sharp, we want to move this back a bit. Just by turning this screw, you can push the pole piece back. Let's loosen this up a little more. Okay, that should be good. Okay, we're in business. Before we clean this guy up, we got it tuned up, intonated. The action is pretty good. We might be able to get it a little bit lower, but it's pretty close to the pickup. So I don't know, when we turn this on, we'll test the volume of the pickups. We might have to adjust that too. But right now, we're just testing stuff, so. Feels good to play, neck feels good, frets feel good. I'm not hearing a lot of buzz. No fret, like down if you bend. Feels great. Feels pretty good. I have one buzz up here. So but overall we did really good. We have only one spot we need to address. We might have to. This was the fret that we were working on for a little bit, so this might still be a little high. So we'll test it out. But overall, I think the step now is to clean this up, plug this in, make sure everything is working as designed, and I think we should maybe just eyeball and maybe lower this pickup a tad. But other than that, I think we should be pretty good. All right. So since this guitar was so dirty, I know we cleaned it up pretty good, but just to get that extra bit, we're gonna use Meguiar's Ultimate Polish, which is more meant for your car, but this stuff does work on your guitar. So even if you had other stuff, you know, 3M or whatever other brands you get at like AutoZone, this stuff works fine. I mean, you can get like guitar polish stuff, it might cost you more. This is cheap, I work cheap. And a microfiber, you know, cloth or towel works great too. So you just kind of put this, shake it up, put it on liberal. You know, this guitar is kind of dirty, so I might hit it a bit down the side. And then what I'll do is do that here, then flip it over, do the back, and then do the sides and stuff also. This is gonna take a little bit of time, some elbow grease, get this polished like really nice and going. So here we go. Spread it out all over. All right, so there's the top. Now we'll just do all the back and the sides, get the back of the neck, and the headstock will be good. So, pretty much done. Just gotta plug it in, make sure it works. In the non-recording part, I'm sorry, I forgot, but I fixed that buzz. The fret was a little high, no problem there. Polished it up, looks awesome. Look how much cleaner that is, nice and bright. Look at that headstock, got some shine to it. Back of the neck looks great. Guitar looks great, man. Plays cool. Like I said, we still have a little bit of an issue here, although it is better than when we started, so that's a plus, but that's something we can do later on. And maybe we'll put one of these on, or I'll get a black one or something, throw on later on. But let's go plug this in, make sure she sounds good, plays good, and that we are on point. So I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. We took this guitar and made it fantastic, right back in playing shape like the Les Paul Custom it's supposed to be. Sounds great, looks great, plays great, just a spectacular guitar, and I'm so glad I got to work on this. Scott, I hope you enjoy this. The guitar is a beast. If you guys gained any knowledge from this episode, which I hope you did, I'm really happy. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys stuck around and went through the paces with me. We made a few mistakes in there, but we got through them, persevered, and we learned from that, which is always good. If you guys like this video, please subscribe to the channel. We're doing guitar stuff like this every week. And please give me a thumbs up, like, or comment. Let me know how you think I did, or if you had better ideas on how to fix a guitar like this. Please let me know. Let's have a discussion. As always, guys, rock on.